a fairly easy variation mountain climber for this exercise. So you can see I'm using the bench to create some elevation and to give me some assistance with it. Make sure your knees are coming all the way through, straight down the middle, nice and light on your toes for this one. Your turn to try it. Modified burpee for this one. So you can see I'm using the bench, so it's going to make the push-up a little bit easier. This is a great version of doing burpees for beginners in particular, and it's a great warm-up exercise as well. So getting into that push-up and then jumping back, and you can see I'm not jumping up at the end either, so I'm just trying to keep the joint impact off my knees when I do this exercise. Your turn to try it. Using the tip of the bench for some triceps dips for this exercise. Now you can see I'm doing it with straight legs so that I can't cheat, and you've just got to make sure that your butt stays really close to your hand. We don't want to cause any excess pressure in the rotator cuffs. Your turn to try this one. Bench squat or bench get up, if you like, for this exercise. So you can see I'm starting with feet parallel, shoulder width, and I'm lifting right up, standing, and dropping back down into that squat, but I'm sitting on the bench as I do it. And then all I'm doing is just lifting straight back up. So it's actually giving you a moment's rest when you're seated on the bench. Your turn to try this one. Working some prone jacks for this exercise. Now this is a fairly easy variation because we're using the bench for some elevation, which is going to take some of your weight off it. A nice warm-up exercise, or it's a good exercise between difficult exercises. Your turn to try it. Working some push-ups for this exercise, and we're getting some assistance from the bench just to create a little bit of elevation, and this will make the push-up fairly easy. Just make sure you're cautious enough not to tip the bench over. Your turn to try this one. Reverse fly with a pulse for this one. So lying on the bench in a prone position, arms are extended, soft straight, and all we're doing is we're lifting up, getting that reverse fly in, and we're pulsing with it as well. Now you can see as I lift, I'm also lifting my chest. So we're really getting inside that back. Your turn to try it. scapular push for this exercise. So lying against the bench in a supine position with your feet directly underneath you, you want to make sure you've got your elbows tucked in by your side and you're lifting yourself up by pushing your elbows down. Okay? Get squeezing of the scapula and the rhomboids as you do it and return it back to the top of the bench. Your turn to try this one. Working some donkey kicks for this one. Now I'm not using any dumbbells, however, I am using my forearms and placing my weight on the bench for the extra support. Now I really just want to focus on those hamstrings and glutes, and you want to make sure that you maintain the same bent angle in your knees. So we don't want to release that. You want to make sure you keep it the whole time. Then you change legs and hit the other side as well. Your turn. Okay guys, this one's going to challenge you. So we're going to work our frog leg planche for this exercise. Now the frog leg is the easier of the two variations. So that's the one that I'm displaying at the moment. If you're pretty comfortable holding your own body weight up, you can actually go into a full planche and extend your legs right out if you like. Your turn to try this one. working some up scissors for this exercise. Now you want to try and make sure that your knees are as straight as you can keep them. And it's just some scissor kicks, but they're vertical. Let's get you to have a go at this one. Glutes bridge with a single leg, but you can see that this one's elevated off the bench. It's going to give me a little bit of extra movement. So I just want to make sure I lift all the way up until I've got a straight line from knee to shoulder, and then drop back down with my tailbone on the floor. Focus on slow, controlled, and steady movement for this one. Your turn to try it. I'm working an inchworm for this one, and you can see that I'm going back into an extended plank. using the bench for a little bit of elevation. So just a matter of going all the way back, reaching out as much as you can, really engaging your core, and then working your way back up into that standing position and get that bit of hamstring stretch once you're at the top of it as well. Your turn to try this one. Hips thruster with a single leg for this one. So using the bench for a bit of elevation, you can see my arms are right out in that crucifix position, and I'm just pushing with the hips and lifting right up as much as I can and dropping back down. We're going to try this with both legs. Your turn. prone angel wings for this exercise. So lying on your bench in a prone position, you want to make sure your chest is lifted, and we're just going to go with soft straight arms from in front of you all the way to your thighs in a horizontal motion. Your turn to try this one. Legs extension for this exercise. Now, this is one of my favorite bench and floor exercises because if you're doing this one correctly, you're really going to feel it. I'm just starting in a plank position, and it's basically like a traditional plank from the bench, and I'm just allowing my knees to drop down to the floor, and I'm using that legs extension technique to pick me back up and put me back into that plank. Your turn to try it. side leg raise from a 3 points position for this one. So you just got to make sure that the side leg raise is nice and perpendicular relative to your body. We just want to make sure that our foot is horizontal and our knees nice and straight for this one. Your turn to try it. Bench top crunch. Now make sure you get nice and close to your bench for this one, so you're creating a small package to start with. And then when you do those crunches, they're going to feel really tight because of the confined space. So this is an excellent way of training, in particular, your upper abs. Your turn to try this exercise. Elevated hips raise for this exercise. So I'm starting off seated in front of the bench with my arms on the bench in a crucifix position. And then I'm going to use my arms to assist me, and I'm going to really squeeze up with my hips until I've created a straight line. I'm going to drop back down, touch my tailbone to the floor, and go again. This one's a fantastic glutes and back exercise. Let's get you to try this one for yourself. Using the tip of the bench for some triceps dips for this exercise. Now you can see I'm doing it with straight legs so that I can't cheat. And you've just got to make sure that your butt stays really close to your hand. We don't want to cause any excess pressure in the rotator cuffs. Your turn to try this one. Single leg posterior stretch from a supine position. So we're just lying down with our support leg nice and bent, and we want to straighten out the opposite leg and try and bring it as close to your body as you can by locking your hands behind your hamstring. Now you want to try and keep your knees straight, and you want to have your heel pointing out. So you want to be able to accent the hamstring and calf stretch on this one. Okay, let's drop that leg, pick up the other one, and do exactly the same stretch now. Starting from a prone position, we're going to go into a Sphinx abdominal stretch for this one. So just make sure your arms are parallel and you've dropped your elbows beneath you. We want to press the belly button down and pull the chest out, lifting those shoulders. And take a deep breath from here, and that's going to help you really expand those abs without putting unnecessary pressure on your back. Now we're going to hold this for a little while, and then we're going to change it up into a Cobra stretch. Lift up into a full Cobra abdominal stretch for this one. I want you guys to be careful with your back. We want to make sure we're not compressing the back. So just make sure that your thighs are on the floor. You're getting an adequate hamstring stretch, but watch your back on this one. Let's hold for 20 more seconds. Seated lateral stretch for this one. So we're seated, and all we're doing is just dropping our hand to one side and then working our way down until your elbow's on the floor. You want to reach over, right over the top with your opposite arm, and really focus on stretching the lats and stretching the obliques on this one. let's change them up now. So start with your hand first, and then dropping your elbow onto the floor, reaching with the opposite arm, and really feeling the oblique and the lats stretching. Okay, stretching the adductors and hamstrings with this one. So we're going to go into a nice wide split. And you can see that Lauren's got her weights on her elbows. And so this is helping her do the splits without putting any unnecessary pressure or without risking any damage. So a lot of her weight is offset and it's on her elbows as opposed to being entirely on the legs. So we're going to try and push down on this, and it's important to keep your knees as straight as you can keep them. Let's hold the splits and keep squeezing for 30 seconds. Clasped together behind you and lifting right up into a rotator cuff stretch. Now you can place your forehead on the floor for support if you like, and we just want to keep pushing up and really trying to get into those rotator cuffs. Hold this position for another 30 seconds.
Well done for finishing your workout, guys.
If you enjoyed this workout segment, please assist us by liking and sharing. Remember to subscribe for your daily workout fix.